Now, before we get into last orders for Sir Keir Starmer, remember to follow me on Odyssey and BitChute that are linked down below, ready for my next trip to the YouTube gulag. But more importantly, because exclusive content will be going up on them platforms in future. This has to be done because YouTube is the bastion of free speech, as we all know. But anyway, enough of all that, let's address Captain Hindsight's visit to the pub yesterday, that actually ended in him getting swiftly ejected like a smelly tramp begging for change at the bar. Obviously, he wasn't there to beg for change, he was begging for voters to vote for his piss-poor political party, which is filled to the brim with anti-British lefty tosspots that actually make scum like the Tory party look good, and that is clearly saying something. The pub owner Rod Humphries shouted at Captain Hindsight when he walked into his pub because Labour and Keir Starmer himself have fully supported the government's policies that has cost this man a lot of money. The same is obviously true for many businesses up and down the country, and I would bet at least some of these feelings expressed by Rod are shared by many others around this country.
In my pub! Get out of my pub! Go on! Get out of my pub!
Sorry, can you keep out the way?
Thank you!
Thank you.
Right, I can't.
It's nice.
As you see there, Rod does not want Sir Keir Starmer in his pub, and I don't fucking blame him. I wouldn't want him in there either. But that little clip has me asking what Sir Keir Starmer's protection detail thinks it's doing, manhandling this guy in his own pub. I will tell you something, my response to him grabbing me like that would have been very different to Rod here, and might well have changed the media's headlines on this story. Because as I'm sure most of you would agree, in my mind he has literally no right to do that. I mean, I seriously doubt Rod was going to start ground and pounding Starmer, was he? All he was going to do was tell him to get the fuck out of his pub, which of course he has the right to do. Meaning this protection officer completely overstepped the mark if you ask me. But following on from this, I've actually seen some blue checkmark tosspots and grifting shills take aim at Rod for his outburst towards Captain Hindsight. Some are saying Rod should not have shouted at politicians, which of course is just bullshit. These people have helped destroy your life. You tell them how they feel so they get some real voter opinions, not the YouGov bullshit polls. But on top of that, there were also tosspots claiming Rod should be angry with Boris Johnson for not giving him more taxpayers' money in order to keep him quiet, which is once again just bollocks. I'm sure I don't need to tell yous lot that screaming for more money does not help the problem. It literally kicks the can down the road. It's actually a bit like the furlough system put in place to stop millions of people from kicking off when they get told that their job is gone thanks to government policy. This is something we have all known for a long time now, but if you ask me, Rod did well here in my opinion, and even more so when you factor in Shit Rod, who we talked about on this channel recently, following this steaming pile of donkey shit we have here.
We need to make sure and roll out the situation that we have the vaccine passport. No more talking about it, no more pussyfooting about with it. Let's get it moving. Let's get a government scheme out there and let's get everybody working on it as soon as possible. No more sort of pretending we might have it, we might not have it. It's the only way that we are being offered to get out of the current situation. We now need to stop talking. We need to make it happen. And as a Prime Minister, it's the Prime Minister needs to say, this is what we're gonna do. This is the way to get back to where we was, and let's get on with it and let's all work together on it. Look, undoubtedly, 2 or 3 months ago, I came up with the idea, no jab, no job. And that's something we're carrying out at Pimlico Plumbers. Nobody's gonna come and work for us unless they've had the vaccine and they've got proof that they've had it. We're not going to send engineers out to customers' houses once the vaccine is properly rolled out unless they've had the vaccine. So for me, it's a no-brainer. From a business point of view, it's a must. And, the quicker that everybody acknowledges that, without proof of the vaccine, you can't go into a pub, club, restaurant, gymnasium, anywhere at all. You can't travel, theatre, you can't even go into work. I mean, personally, I have to say, I don't even think that we should allow people on the streets unless they've had the vaccine.
So it has to be said Rod here is a legend in comparison to Shit Rod there, or the Pimlico Plumbers Ponce Charlie Mullins. Though of course a limp dick dog is better than that vaccine apartheid supporting fuck pig in all honesty. But enough about Shit Rod, let's get back to the politicians that I actually expect to see more members of the public heckling in future as time goes on. And because of this, I am sure Sir Keir Starmer's team will phone businesses ahead of any visits to make sure the owners are not ready to call out this weak bucket of piss when he goes on the campaign trail. Boris will need to do the same, and likely already does, because people are not going to be happy with that stupid blonde prick either, let me tell you. And as a matter of fact, Hancock should probably just stay at home. I think it's safe to say most people hate him with a burning passion at this point. In fact, he is actually on par with Jeremy Corbyn to many people I have spoken to, and I can hardly blame them at this point. Now, this story would have ended there if it wasn't for ITV's finest fuckpig and certified shitweasel Dr. Shillery Jones. This paid puppet, who some might remember, said it was better to waterboard yourself than catch COVID, has continued his lunacy here. Because this septic spot on the arse of humanity told the Raven pub owner to stick to pulling pints on Good Morning bullshit earlier today. Despite the obvious fact that the government has banned him from doing exactly that all year, with shills like Dr. Hillary promoting all things that are destroying his business. That is literally true shitweasel behaviour if you ask me, but not surprising for this tosspot, let's be honest. He has, after all, won a Shitweasel of the Week award recently for him acting like this, so it's actually a given and probably why ITV employ him.
And they want the message to be out there that even on a beach, if you're looking at those pictures that we've just seen, if you're on a crowded beach, there's a risk of transmission. And in theory, if you go swimming in the sea, you should be wearing a mask. In theory, if you go swimming in the sea, you should be wearing a mask.
Now personally, I think it's a shame that ITV would never have me on there to have a few words with Dr. Shillery. As you can expect, I have a few questions to ask him that would see his arsehole pucker up tighter than a fucking snare drum while he squirms in his seat, figuring out how to avoid answering a real question. But with that being said, I actually have to say well done to Rod for letting the public know people are not happy with these shitweasel politicians. This is something I can respect considering all they have done. But on that note, I am going to end the video there, guys. Remember to follow me on BitChute and Odyssey, where exclusive videos will be going up from now on, and I'll see you all in the next one.